So you can come into a symmetrical, relaxed position. Go ahead and spread out. And either close your eyes or take a soft gaze up towards the ceiling. And let the backside of your body release back into the floor. And each time you exhale, that can be an opportunity to release a little bit more. Consciously setting aside any mental projects you're working on, plans, problems to solve. So that at least for this half hour, our intention is to be present with what we're doing. That all that other stuff will be waiting for us when we're done. And if you notice that your mind has wandered onto other things, that we'll have a practice of returning back to presence. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed or open them as it's useful for you throughout your practice. And let's begin by sliding arms overhead and stretching out really long through your arms and legs, reaching through your fingers and your toes. Interlace your fingers, press out through your palms and flex your feet, reaching through the heels of your hands, the heels of your feet. And then release, and let's roll onto one side. So we're going to have the bottom arm extended, legs straight and together, toes pointed. And for now, have the top hand on the floor just to help steady you a little bit. Check that you're not piking or bananing. Everything is in a straight, long line, except for the top hand, using a little support there. So let's squeeze the legs together and up, just a couple of inches off the floor, but really strong squeezing together and long out. This is working core strength, core stabilizing muscles, inner legs, which can be quite weak. Breathing here, can you relax your face, and then release the legs down. Now let's lift the legs and the bottom arm. So it doesn't have to be high, but get long through the fingers, through the toes, through the head. Can you still relax your face? And then release down. Now both arms overhead, palms together, legs together, reach out to come up. And there may be a little bit of flopping or wobbling. That is strengthening core stabilizing muscles. Each flop is making you stronger. I call this Flounder Pose. And then release down. Let's bend the bottom arm, bring your hand to your head, and flex your feet. That will help with balance a little bit, still keeping everything in a straight, long line. Bend the top leg and bring it up as high as you can, almost like tree pose. And see if you can find your balance without using the top hand. If you need it, go ahead and bring it there. If you don't need it, bring it up. But keep bringing everything into the midline. So knee is going straight up, hips are coming in from both sides. Even though there's a lot touching the floor, this is a little bit of a balancing pose. Now reach your hand on the inside of your leg to grab your big toe. You might keep your leg quite bent or work on straightening it. Could be just a little, could be part way or all the way, working with your body and still keeping everything into the midline. So try not to tip one way or the other. And again, every little wobble is actually strength training. To release, we'll bring the top hand back to the floor. Lower your leg until it's about 6 inches off the floor. Press out through your heel. Reach your toes up towards your head, so you're splitting the legs as wide as you can. Again, core strength happening here. Kick through the heel, toes up towards your head, breathing deeply. Last breath here. Let's release the foot to the floor where it is. The hand that was on your head is going to reach for the foot. You might be able to grab it. You might need to bend your knee to grab it. You might use a strap or instead have your hand on your calf. Reach for what you're able and then roll open through the top shoulder. So you can get that top shoulder all the way down, drop down through the top hip. So you're lengthening from shoulder to hip. If you want to add a quad stretch to this, your free hand can reach down for your free foot, bending the bottom leg, grabbing it. You might need to pick up the torso for a moment in order to reach. And then once you have hold, come back down. If that doesn't work for you, don't do it and don't worry about it. Everything is optional. So you're just working with your body, feeling where you are. This pose has a lot of complexity, a lot to feel. How much can you take in? And then release. Roll back onto your back. Bring both knees in. And take a little circle or rock with your knees. And we'll get ready for the same thing other side. So you can spread out and then roll onto the other side. I'm just going to flip around so I'm facing you still. You can orient however you're able to see. So for this first one, legs are straight, bottom arm is straight, toes are pointed, and top hand is on the floor for a little bit of stability. Squeeze the legs together and lift them up. Just a couple of inches, but really strong, like you're gluing your legs together and then lengthening them out away from your body. Release the legs down. Keeping your face relaxed, let's lift the legs and the bottom arm. Reaching long, that top arm's there to help stabilize you, at least for this one. Reaching even further, fingers, toes, top of the head. And then release down. Top arm overhead this time, legs together, arms together, squeeze them together and reach out. Just a little bit off the floor, getting as long as you can. And then release. So let's bend the bottom arm, flex the feet. See if you can balance without the use of the top arm now, and then take the top leg up like tree, as high up as you can on your inner leg. Doesn't have to be as high as I'm doing it. Find your way. And then see if you can bring everything into the midline. Hips, knees, whole body in a straight long line except for that flexed foot helping a little bit. And then reach your hand on the inside for your big toes. You might just stay holding the big toe with your knee bent. You might straighten just a little bit or more or all the way. It's not better to go further. It's finding your edge right where it is. And then when you're at your edge, when you're wobbling or feeling whatever you're feeling, can your breath be steady? Can your breath be deep? Can your face be relaxed? Last breath here. And release. Bring your hand to the floor. We're going to lower that leg until it's about 6 inches off the floor. Kick through your heel. Reach your toes towards your head. And keep going. Kick through your heel. Reach your toes through your head, splitting your legs as wide as you can. One more breath here. Release. Drop your foot to the floor. The hand that was on your head can reach for your foot, ankle, calf, a strap. Leg can be bent a little or a lot. And then roll open through the top shoulder. Keep dropping down through the top hip. See if you can stay really long on all four sides of the torso. If you want to add the quad stretch, your free hand can reach down for your free foot. If that didn't work out on the other side, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Finding your way, and then how much can you feel what you're doing right where you are? Using what you know about alignment. Even if this pose is brand new to you, can you apply what else you've learned about your body to what you're doing? And just a reminder that you can't know things you don't know, so don't worry about that. And you can't do things you can't do. That's impossible. So in each of these poses, and probably throughout the rest of your day, you're doing the best you can, given what you understand and are able to do. And then it's going to be like this, however this is. Let's release. Roll back onto your back. Bring both knees in and even things out. You might take a little circle or rock, scooting your hips away from your head, getting nice and long. And then make your way up to sitting. And let's come all the way into a high push-up position. We'll set the hands shoulder width apart, step the feet back, and bring your whole body into a straight long line from head to the heels, nice and long. Shift your weight forward to lower down, low push-up. And then come into your back bend, cobra or up dog, as low or high as feels right for you. So it might be just a little tiny baby one, might be coming higher. Wherever you are, shoulders back and down. And then back to down dog. Take your time. Opening up the backs of the legs. You might bend one knee. And then so you press the opposite heel towards the floor. As you settle onto 2 feet evenly, you're welcome to have your heels up or down, your knees bent or straight. What helps you get as long as you can from your hands to your hips? Let's walk hands and feet towards one another and hang in ragdoll. You can bend your knees a little or a lot. You can take a sway or shake out here. What is there to release? What is there to let go of? And if it feels too much to just hang, use some support through your arms. You might rest elbows on thighs or hands on ankles. Let's bend the knees a little more and slowly roll up, coming all the way up to standing. We'll take a balancing pose. You can feel your balance on 2 feet, maybe rocking front to back or side to side, kind of tuning into the soles of the feet. And then we'll take a tree pose. Right leg comes up as high as you can, maybe the inner thigh, as low as you need, anywhere above or below your knee. Could be at your calf, could be even at your ankle. So you choose your challenge. Arms can be out to the side to steady you. That's going to be most stabilizing, so anytime you need it, bring them out. You can also use a chair or a piece of furniture. If you feel steady, you could bring hands together or arms up. Can you stand a little bit taller? And then release. Shake that out. Get steady on 2 feet. Feel your feet grounded. And then when you're ready, shift over to the other side. Left leg comes up as high as you can, as low as you need. Choose your arm position, and you can change your mind at any time, finding the shape that suits you and being willing to adjust that as your needs change, which they will, which they do. Release, shake that out. Let's take a quad stretch balance next. We'll bring the right leg back. Left arm can be out to steady you or at a piece of furniture or wall, or 2 hands at your foot. As you do this, notice if there's a big crease in the right hip. There's a way you might avoid the stretch by sending your sit bones back. Try not to do that. You might imagine you have a long monkey tail and you're pulling it up between your legs. That will help open up the front of the hip, lengthen the lower back, and bring the stretch into the area we're intending, the quad and hip flexor. It's very natural to want to avoid discomfort. The problem with that is if you're open in certain ways and not in others, it's easy to keep playing to your strengths. Keep opening what's already open, strengthening what's already strong, and avoiding what's tight and weak. And the problem then is they just get tighter and weaker. So we want to keep going towards those tight places, towards those weak places. Let's release that side, shake it out, get steady on 2 feet, and then move to the other side. Left leg comes back. Imagine that monkey tail, draw it up between the legs. And it takes presence. When you go unconscious, your body may just naturally adjust to something more comfortable, further from your edge, closer to what it knows, and maybe not what's actually useful. Let's release, shake that out. Let's bring feet hip width apart, hands to the top of the buttocks. We're going to roll the shoulders back, roll the elbows back, and then lift the chest. Take the chest up as high as you can, like there was a helium balloon in the chest, lifting away from the lower back. And release. Let's fold forward. Grab your big toes with the first 2 finger and thumb. Lengthen. And fold. Pulling the head towards the floor. And if grabbing your toes is too far, you might bend your knees or you might just not grab them. Doing this in the way that it works for you. We'll release, lower the hips, and let's come all the way back onto our backs. Bring your feet to the floor, hip width apart, parallel. We'll get set up for bridge. Press your feet down to lift your hips up. Once your hips are high enough, interlace your fingers behind your back and kind of rock side to side, shrugging your shoulders underneath you. Spreading the upper back and lower back away from one another. Take your arms out of your way. Roll down and rest. Let's come into happy baby. We're going to grab the soles of the feet on the inside. Press your knees towards the floor. And this can be done in stillness or with a little rocking side to side. You can keep your legs bent or straighten them part way or all the way. Release and grab hold of your right knee. Drop the left leg long. We're going to take the right knee across for a spinal twist, opening out through the right arm and letting your knee and shoulder reach away from one another. And then switch. Bring your left knee in and across. Drop the right leg long, spinal twist. Roll back onto your back. Bring both knees in and just check in with your body. Anything you need to do to feel complete in your practice before coming into your final resting pose, Shavasana. So if you want to take any last pose or stretch, you can do that now. If there's a part of your body that could use a little attention, you can do that now. And when you're ready, come into a symmetrical, relaxed position. Releasing back into the support underneath you. You can let go of the control of your breath. Let it be natural again. slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And let this movement increase through your wrists and ankles. And take a big stretch out through your arms and legs. When you're ready, bring your knees in. And roll to one side, pausing there for a moment. And use your hands to help you up to sitting. And come to a comfortable cross-legged position. And bring hands together at the heart. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.